to give a new perspective on how to sit on the ground. I know it seems like maybe it would be such a simple activity, um, but I'd like to offer you guys here just a little bit of wisdom on sitting on the ground. First and foremost, if your knees hike up a little bit higher than your hips, it will radically transform your experience if you'll just sit up onto a pillow and let the knees come down. When the knees are below the hips, it makes it so much more comfortable to be seated in your body. The other thing is, if it's very challenging on your knees to keep your legs crossed, you can always just send them out in front of your body. You can keep them long, but that pillow underneath knees and hips can be very supportive for you. And why is this important? Because the essence of every one of these practices is a long and open channel in the spine. You know, yoga asana means yoga postures, and the posture that we're trying to uphold in our bodies is one that is calm and relaxed. The most relaxed way to be in your body is to sit upright. Now, through years and years of not sitting in the correct posture, it can sometimes be very challenging to sit comfortably. If ever this is not available for you to sit on the ground, just sit right onto the edge of a chair, and you'll find that it'll very much transform your experience in these meditation practices. So let's go ahead and close down the eyes, and we'll join together in body, mind, and heart. And bring all your attention, like you're shining an inner spotlight, right into the heart center. And if you think like the aperture of a lens, as it dials outward, or the pupil dilating outward, dilate your awareness so that it's softly gathered in the region of the heart. And let's start with just imagining whatever is your calm, centered place. If it's being by the ocean, if it's sitting in the forest by a stream, whatever brings you calm and peace. If you're looking out over a still lake, or maybe it's the silence of the night sky. And let's let that sense of calm and peace begin to draw in with the breath and release out with the breath, so that we, as though you're breathing under the ocean water, you're drawing in calm, peace into the body and releasing calm and peace out into the world. And there's a quality of softly listening. You're attentive yet relaxed. You're energetic yet calm. And we're still in the heart, just breathing that sense of calm presence. And you really want to, or not, that you have the opportunity in this moment to expand that calm presence. And you can imagine when we're really stuck in our little small sense of self, it's just like creating a giant wave in a small bathtub. It seems so dramatic, and the water's splashing and there's tumultuous energy circulating. But if you were to make that same wave in the ocean, it's barely a fluctuation. So the more that you can relax your body and expand through this practice tonight, the greater the perspective we have on our feelings, and the healthier the perspective we have between ourselves and others. Let's just take a few more moments here to breathe. And at this point, you can even lift your awareness up to the root of the nose, or the point between the two eyebrows. It's just a very gentle lift of your eyes. Not so much to do or to practice, more just to observe and be watchful and see what starts to happen when you slow down. As you relax, you might find that there's more freedom to breathe into the lower chambers of the lungs, which reach almost down to your waistline. So as you find the next 5 or 6 breaths before we start to move into our first postures, feel that you're breathing in every direction, into the low spine, out to the sides of the ribs. For this last breath, just lift the crown of the head a little bit taller. Sit a little higher in your spine. Find your last deep breath into the body. Release all the breath out. We'll take a few movements with our arms before we come out of our seat, so you can reach the arms up as you inhale, circling them all the way around. And then exhaling, breath comes out, arms go down and around. Breathe first as you flip the palms. The breath is the inspiration that energizes the arms to rise up. The exhale, palms face down, gently flutter down. One more time like that. Inhale first, listening for the breath and allowing the movement to flow through you. Exhalation, release the hands out, slowly coming down. And then we'll take hands right onto the shoulders. You're going to inhale and roll the shoulders up with tension. Open mouth, exhale. Again. And let it go. Shift the energy of the heart. Again. Let's reverse. Inhale, roll backwards. And release. Again. One more time. Arms out in front, palms gathered together. We're going to double inhale, and you're going to pretend like you're stretching a band between the hands. Tense the arms and pull away from the heart center. Double exhale through the mouth to relax. Again. Draw a vigorous breath in the body. Double exhale from the heart. Again. Last time. Just take a moment to relax and feel. Inner gaze at the spiritual eye. Notice the shift of energy. I think we're ready for our first posture. Eyes are slowly opening. When you're ready, you can go ahead and set. You get some pillows here. We're going to set in a restorative fish pose. It's the most common of our restorative yoga poses, and it's wonderfully beneficial for our body. So you might start by stacking 2 layers of pillows. What's most important is that you have a little bit of a lift for your head. So just make sure, I'm going to do my setup as such so that I can demonstrate. So the base of your spine is snugged nice and tight towards the pillows. And you just recline yourself back, palms face up. It's a wonderfully restorative pose. It's deeply opening for the heart. And we have an opportunity in the beginning of our practice to observe the breath with keen interest, a childlike curiosity, wondering what this next breath might bring into the body. Don't be worried if the breath feels limited or shallow in these opening moments. If you have thoughts, if there are uncomfortable sensations, all these are great fodder for your practice. They give you the opportunity to center your awareness. If you feel a tickle or a little itch in the body, try to stay still and just breathe. Watch closely. These are the ways that our body grabs our attention to pull us back into the presence of the moment. It can be particularly helpful, especially in the beginning of a practice, to take a double inhalation and tense the whole body. So squeeze from feet to ankles, calves to knees, knees to thighs, thighs to hips, and then release. Double exhale. Let's go up the body more. Double inhale, squeezing through the chain of the legs. How about hands into forearms? Forearms into elbows, elbows into upper arms and shoulders and chest. Double exhale to release. Again, double inhalation. This time the whole body. Squeeze legs, arms, right up through the belly, navel, ribs, chest, shoulders, throat, face even. And release. Good. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Even swing the feet side to side. Just let them sweep around while they're long here. Good. Let's take tips of the fingers to the scalp since we're so supported. And you want to shift the skin around. So you're sort of kneading like a cat on the top of the head. Massaging, awakening. The affirmation for this little movement: awake, my sleeping children, awake. All the little thought citizens of the brain, we're waking up the cells. Relaxation is far from a subconscious or unconscious stupor where we start to drift into sleep-like state of awareness. Rather, we're moving into superconscious activity. You can release the hands as you're ready. Superconsciousness requires tremendous energy in the body. As you rest in this pose, bring all your awareness into the spine. Right from the root of the spine all the way up through the bowl of the hips, low spine, backside of navel, backside of the heart and throat, all the way plugging into the base of the skull. This is the practice of interoception, or awareness of the inner body. And like many fireflies or moths drawn all to a central flame or central illumined energy, feel that all of your sense of self is returning right into your spine. All that's necessary on your part is your intention, which is your willingness and your watchful eye, the witness within yourself. Let's breathe and start to feel this accumulation of energy in the spine. As that energy begins to accumulate in this first posture, let's awaken right into the center of the heart. And oftentimes this all-loving and forgiving heart is lacerated by seriousness, calloused by unforgiving. And this is your moment, through calm breath, through willingness to forgive, that the heart can begin to soften. It can begin to heal with the balm of inner peace. Let's take our final minute or so in the pose just to enjoy the stillness and the silence of our heart, breathing and enjoying. Remembering as you practice that the heart is like a child. There's no need to force any opening of the heart. Just by holding a field of loving kindness and patience, the heart responds to the invitation. And as soon as the heart feels safe, the muscles all throughout the body will begin to relax. Even chronic areas of tension can spontaneously release. Persistent pain can seem to just evaporate. In the final moments of the pose, this is your opportunity to consciously deepen the breath, to let the belly soften, to trust in the low spine, to take deep, deep breath all the way down by the waist. Open mouth exhales if the heart is holding on. And you really know you're there when the face begins to relax. And we start to take on a quality of energy beneath the skin that is angelic, that is serene, like the little cherub angels in religious paintings. Some of us may even finely tune our inner ear and find that there may be inner sound occurring. Sometimes it's a high-pitched noise or an inner hum. Let's deepen that space together in perfect silence for another minute or so. Center awareness back into the spine. On deep conscious inhalation, send pulsing waves of energy into fingers and toes, and just start to awaken into the body a little bit more. Not so much to disturb the peace that you've cultivated, but maybe a reach over the head to lengthen, encouraging upward lift of energy through the spine. Maybe a deep breath with arms reaching out. And then straight above the heart even, an inhalation reaching up. And when you're ready, dropping hands, we'll take feet back down to the ground. Watch closely in the low spine and notice if you have a little freedom to drop knees to one side or the other. What we're doing is just encouraging a little stimulation into the base of the spine, lower energy centers. Of Mulabandh or the root center, Svadhisthana or sacral center. Good. And then if you can take one knee in towards the chest and take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale all the breath out of the mouth and gently draw the knee a little closer to the chest. You can set that side down right to the other side. Nice deep breath in, holding onto the knee. Shoulders stay relaxed. Fill the full capacity of your lungs. Exhale and draw the knee a little bit closer. Good way to flush out the hips and up into the lungs even. I think we can stay in this pose and just go ahead and cross one of our ankles over the thigh, coming into figure 4 pose. Now some of us may be able to reach and just draw one of or draw the supportive thigh towards the body. If this feels challenging because of the props, you can leave the foot on the ground. Let's close the eyes and just a little bounce of the knee forwards and backwards like the flutter of the butterfly's wings. Ever so sensitive and keenly aware. All the while breathing and sending the vast reservoir of free energy from this deep breathing into the hip. A gentle coaxing, fluttering closer and closer towards the chest, you'll find more and more opening of the hip. And when you feel intuitively the time's right, just go ahead and set the foot down onto the ground and we'll switch sides, coming right over to the other side. So you set the ankle right onto the thigh and then interlace fingers behind the supportive leg. It's a figure 4 pose, rather universally known. And you just do a little flutter. Be patient. And every time that you bounce, there's just a little more stimulation. That little bounce, little vibration is stimulating energy to rise up the spine a little bit higher, at least into the sacral. Good, just like that. You begin to find a sweet spot as you practice in this way where you feel safe and you can intuitively, calmly begin to progress through invitation only. Don't be discouraged if you're rejected. Just calmly breathe and be patient. One day we get invited to all the inner rooms of this temple. And maybe taking another full and deep breath before you leave the pose and settle both feet back onto the ground. And then from here, just let the knees wave side to side according to your practice level. Just be mindful of your low spine. And then how about we join feet together and let knees come wide apart. And if you like a little flutter of the knees, feel free. Just be mindful of the inner thighs and not putting too much weight on them. We're not going to stay. We're just going to stay with a little bit of a bounce here to invoke energy into the legs and up through the spine. And if you really want to take this to the next level, you take your palms and face them up along the spine, and as you inhale, you imagine that you're carrying the breath up through the heart, through the throat, and you even reach up overhead. And then exhale and spread the arms out nice and wide into a big snow angel shape here. Now if you have pillows close by and you want to prop them under the knees, maybe you do this, and then we inhale a few more times, carrying the awareness right up the spine, past the crown of the head, and exhaling a little more space. Sometimes the body can feel like being in a crowded room. And now you're out on the vast vistas of the beachfront or the open ocean with vast reaches of space all around you to expand. Take one more round in this way if you feel inspired to do so. Hands slide beneath the knees, and this is your opportunity to carry the knees close back together. Good. We're going to release out of this pose, and to do so, just roll yourself right off to your right side. Knees come down, and we sort of just take a moment here. Put one hand on the earth and keep the eyes closed and breathe. It's a powerful moment. There's a lot of shifting in the body when you feel inspired to do so. I personally like to reach my top leg, that's your left leg, reach it out nice and long, and then begin to roll and press off the ground, starting to bend the left knee as you're ready to. And we're actually going to stay in this way. So your right thigh and hip should be nice and close to your setup. And we're just going to turn our body to face right down onto the exact same setup and rest here. Make sure it's comfortable on your neck. You may need to adjust your pillow a little bit here. Some of us need a little cushion underneath this back knee. Sometimes that collision is a little too coarse for some of our joints. And you just find a little pillow and then lower yourself back and down. And we'll steep right back into sensitive breathing. There's really no right or wrong in the posture as long as you're witnessing and you're watchful. You are curious and interested with your practice. You know, it's the ego that thinks that by making the most noise, by getting the most attention, that we create the most progress. And what you find on the spiritual path is those who have become the wisest, who have achieved the deepest inner communion, are often very humble, reserved, quiet. And that's the essence of our practice tonight. Small, subtle movements creating dramatic inner shifts over long periods of time. This posture is wonderfully stimulating, not only in the sacral region, but also in the solar plexus up near the navel. And as we breathe and we begin to inspire energy from these deeper centers in our body, upward through the channel of the spine, they begin to refine to more and more subtle quality. Giving all emotions, all feelings and thought a place on the stage of your consciousness, each equally respected and appreciated for its value and its message in your life. If there's any more that you can let go of in your body, another group of muscles, it might be a little shrug in the neck or a tension holding in the jaw or point between the two eyebrows. See if you can surrender a little more deeply on the next exhalation. Let's maybe take the next minute or two to really indulge in this opportunity to be silent and just receive in the stillness, to be absent of all doing, to be. Maybe the smallest of movements, little micro adjustments in the base of the spine and the hips, toes and fingertips. Maybe deep conscious breath and sliding hands back underneath shoulders. Let the head remain relaxed, and as you inhale, roll your way up your spine. Just slide the head. Keep it low for a moment, walking the hands. We're going to rotate right to the other side. Careful as you transition when you're moving this slowly. There can be dramatic shifts. It can be lightheadedness sometimes. Just so I'm facing you guys, we'll set here. Again, if you need a little pillow under your knee, feel free. We go ahead and just turn ourselves right back down onto that posture. Eyes remain closed. And whatever percolates in your practice, sometimes we get these really interesting little thoughts of an early time in our childhood or a particular event in our life. Sometimes we start to see colors. And in honesty, sometimes feelings or emotions come to the surface that are perhaps not exactly calm. And the importance here is to give an equal opportunity to whatever comes to the surface.
like a loving mother embracing her children, embracing all the neighborhood children, regardless of their personalities. You can think of each of your emotions and your thoughts like different personalities, all equally worthy of loving kindness and embrace. As long as the breath is flowing, all experiences will lead back to the calm underlying presence that is the essence of who we are. For some of us, these postures and this type of practice leads us into a sleep-like state, and that's okay. And for others, we want to make sure that we stay awake for the whole movie, and so we have an investment in keeping a calm breath circulating through the body, a watchful eye, and that's okay too. The affirmation, I give myself permission to be as I am. I give myself permission to be as I am. Eventually, in this particular posture, the energy will rise into the heart, which is so supported by the pillows or the bolster or blankets, becoming more subtly refined into an expansive sense of gratitude, not for a particular thing, for receiving a particular experience, but an open-ended gratitude. Through calm breathing and progressive relaxation, everyone in their own time arrives at this experience. Oftentimes in these restorative postures, I find myself doing a recount of my life. no longer possessed by emotional charge for any situation, forgiveness becomes very easy. Forgiveness of oneself and others for truly any circumstance. You're ready to start to awaken the body a little more. Start with little movements, shifting in the hips, the tiniest little articulations. Eventually hands slide under the shoulders. Relax the head, let it slacken so that when you start to press your way off of the pillow, it hangs down low. And then when you begin to rise up and turn the chest, be very gentle, very careful. We're going to just slide our setup out of the way for a moment here and drop back down onto the back. So feel free to hold onto your thighs and just roll the spine right down onto the ground. Take knees in towards the chest. If you can hug the arms around the legs, feel free to do a little rocking side to side. Some of us may be particularly interested in becoming acutely aware of the body and the way that these subtle movements are affecting the body. Others of us are recounting moments of our life. Just know that whatever's happening is perfect for you. Feet are going to free down onto the ground whenever you feel like it. We're going to take our pillows, as you're ready, lifting the hips off the ground and sliding them underneath. So try to get a good lift here. One pillow's good. 2 pillows, if you can get them underneath there, is great. If anyone feels like they maybe want to stuff 3 pillows underneath, you might try to get there. Don't worry about perfection. And you're setting them on the back side of the hips, so careful not to go too high on the spine. This is a supportive bridge pose. Palms can release out facing up. If you are looking for a sense of security, rest the palms onto the lap. Adjust the legs in any way that you need. I like to walk my feet out and bridge my knees together to sort of forget about them. Ideally, the head is resting on the ground to give the maximum upward rise of energy through the spine and through the body. In the beginning, it's almost as though honey or molasses is rolling down a tilted surface. The energy may very slowly begin to rise. But if you apply the heat of willingness and presence and trust, this upward current begins to liquefy and travel more quickly up to the spiritual eye, into the brain. You may have momentary sensations of discomfort or bliss. especially relaxing the space of the forehead here, which is the center of so much mental activity. And I personally like to take my fingers and just kind of rub and circle around in the skin here, shifting the skin of the forehead, the prefrontal cortex. You can even do little pinches of the eyebrows, helps to release nervous tension around the eyes, hypervigilance, especially the center. Give a little pinch of the center, the root of the nose. You can clear sinuses by drawing index fingers from the bridge of the nose down under the eyes, pressing out the sinus ducts. You can get into the ears in this particular pose, doing a little massaging. And nothing's a rush because there's no goal to accomplish here. It's a joy of exploring in the moment and seeing how these little exchanges of contact with skin and skin and contact between intention and reality begin to shift your consciousness. Try ever so slowly just holding onto the ear and sort of drifting outward. A little tugging can do wonders. And let's finish this posture by looking up to the spiritual eye, or the point between the two eyebrows, almost like you're looking behind you, but without creating tension in the forehead. Relax the whole length of your spine, like opening many doorways down a long, long hallway, successive doorways. Let them all open until you see a great window-like opening at the end of the hallway that is your spiritual eye filled with light. Any energies, any thoughts or emotions that no longer serve you, let them walk down this long hallway. Give them permission to be free once again. Now, very few of us may feel the inspiration to stay in the posture and to draw one knee at a time and then send the feet up towards the sky. This will rather intensify the experience of the posture, so be gentle and really know what it is that you truly need. This is what wisdom is, not what is the furthest expression or the greatest demonstration of your physical prowess. Again, stay here for as long as you'd like. This is not always an equally accessible posture to all bodies. Some of us feel strong pressure in the face from this much current rising up the body. And for those of us that feel that, drop the knees, bending, And we'll release one foot at a time back onto the earth. When you're ready, slowly begin to slide the pillows out from underneath the body. Be done with your props, and when the hips meet the ground for the first time, watch very closely. And just feel that wonderful point of contact. It's almost like the moon landing. You're touching down in this sort of altered experience of gravity due to slowness of breath. This is a great opportunity to rock your knees left and right. And I personally like to take the arms nice and wide, reach them as wide as they're ready to go, and then squirm in the body a bit. Breathe and move. The energy may begin to settle back down towards the heart, and this is wonderful. Let it settle down and flow in its own accord. If you're looking for a little more opening in the hips, lead with one knee and just keep drifting, 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 opening that knee until it lifts the other knee off the ground, and we rock the whole shape until knees fold over one another again. Just rocking from one side to the other. Neutral position sends arms extending high above the head and legs extending all the way as far as they can go. Reach the body as long as you can be in this moment, and take some breaths in this way. Deep, deep expansion. Like you had a little kid on either side of the body. One was pulling on your arms, the other pulling on your legs. At some point, we come down from our ascent of deep breath and we sort of just slide the arms around, maybe in a snow angel-like fashion. We're going to draw one knee at a time back up towards the sky, and then go ahead and roll off to your right side. Just drift right over. Gather both hands. One arm is under the head, your left hand right down to the heart or to the earth. Feel this new rhythm that you've created. Such a long, deep breath, almost like you're a tortoise, gently one step at a time. Feeling all the wonderful calming benefits of your practice. When you do feel inspired to move your top leg, so in this case your left leg goes nice and long, reach, reach, reach out. And we start to roll onto the weight of the left hand. Right hand can begin to help, and leave your head as the last part of the body to rise, bending knees as you slowly, slowly roll your way back up. Easy does it as you arrive. We're going to keep the head low and just come right onto our knees and come into a child's pose. So by now you may have found a comfortable way to be in this pose. First comfort is give cushion to the ankles. Second comfort, give space in the knees. Final comfort, if you're choosing this version, tuck a pillow tight against the belly and release onto the forearms and let the head come down.
If this particular position doesn't work for your body type, go ahead and relieve them, especially if you have a more flexible body to work with. You might just sit over the ankles and put pillows for your chest to fall onto, so you find what works. And again, you get into the posture and then be done with the fixing. And this is the posture that ties the whole practice together. And we allow the breath in its quality to be like the expansion of an umbrella, where equal sides of this circular pattern of breath expand in all directions, into the back, into the chest, into the side body, to the feet, up into the crown, into the marrow, and out into infinity. Let's just take some of these breaths of infinity together. Let the words of this ancient Sanskrit chant, Om Namo Bhagavate, take us deeper into our practice. If you know the words of the chants, feel free to sing inwardly. Otherwise, feel that my words are your very own.
it's comfortable to remain in the pose for a few more moments of silence, just let the body rest here. For anybody that needs to rise out of the pose, feel free to take this time to do so. All of us will find our final resting pose over the course of the next few minutes back into our first position of supportive fish pose. Again, a demonstration if you need a new little reminder. And let your body fall right over this, head resting in the back, palms facing up. And our final chant for today, Shri Ram Jai Ram. Let's take this chant into a nice deep space.
to be together in silence. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace within, peace all around. Let's invite gentle movements of the physical body to stir out of this restful position. Noticing the atmosphere, both within the body, around the body. Rolling off over to your right side to exit the posture, gentle on the heart. Just taking a moment here to rest on your side. Let your left hand connect either to the earth or to the heart and feel that living heartbeat of the divine presence, divine mother's presence, personified as Mother Earth, personified as the love in your heart. When you feel the personal inspiration to rise from the earth, let it be gradual, as though this moment is all that we want. There's nowhere really else to be. When you do arrive in your comfortable seat, the palms are facing up on the lap. The heart is blooming up and open throughout the arms. All the energy right into the spiritual eye. We'll repeat here, Om Christ Bliss, Om Christ Bliss. Soften every muscle in your body and let grace guide you. Om Christ Bliss. Say it inwardly. So this is a great time to sit in this stillness. Because our class is ending, we're going to send out healing prayers to the world, but for the rest of us, you may even pause this recording, or if you're live with us, you may just mute and come back to this part. Especially if you feel a profound sense of expansion through your body, stay in this space. It's such a holy and sacred gift. rest of us will join the hands together in prayer in front of the heart's altar, recognizing it's not enough for us just to indulge in personal bliss, but in order to reach deeper states of bliss, we must be of service to others. And it's by becoming a channel for sending healing energy to the world that we become a channel for this bliss and for healing light to shine into the hearts and souls of all mankind. Let's rub the palms together in front of the heart's altar, stimulating some energy between the palms, enough to wake up your body, to really stir this instrument. Spread the palms open when you're ready, affirming yourself by looking at the spiritual eye as an instrument for the divine. Let grace flow through your body. Let's sound Om 3 times together, sending waves of blessing out into this beautiful movie of creation. We'll clear the channel of the lungs, taking one breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's Om together. Deep breath to begin. Bliss. Bliss to all souls out there. Give a little press of your palms a little further to press that wave of energy out into the world. May everyone's hearts be filled with peace and kindness and love. All in due timing, hands back together in prayer, with a gentle bow of our head towards our hands in prayer. Prayer hands lifted to the spiritual eye. We bow to that place within us that is divine, that is pure, unconditional love, that is bliss as the nature of our own soul and our own being, and the nature of all beings, by saying Namaste, Namaste. I thank you all very much for sharing your time with me during this class. If you're with us in the live version, this is a very special day. It is the summer solstice of 2020, and there are amazing astrological alignments right now for transformational and evolutionary leaps in both our own personal consciousness and in the collective consciousness. So thank you so much for cultivating this space tonight and bringing your own personal contributions into this world. Everyone is a unique gift and a unique light in this world, and we need all of us shining equally. So thank you so much. Many blessings to all of you, and we'll see you for more programming soon. Namaste.